Gentleman yields back. For what purpose does Ms. Jackson Lee seek recognition?
Strike the last word, Mr. Chairman.
Gentlelady is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I could not be more proud of this body, this committee, and more proud of Congresswoman McBath. As the chair of the Subcommittee on Crime, Terrorism, and Homeland Security, I'm particularly proud of all of our members' commitment to just laws. And the law before us, the bill before us, is no less just. The only thing I see in the work of Congresswoman McBath is that she has sought justice. Justice for victims, justice for families who beg to have a way to deal with individuals who they love and care for, but they know provide an extreme risk. Violation of the Constitution? I'd like to see that clarified. This in no way undermines the Second Amendment. Frankly, if one reads literally the Second Amendment, it is to stand up in a militia. Subsequent interpretation has made it a singular standard of godlike behavior. So I rise with great enthusiasm for this work. With this committee's consideration of H.R. 2377, the Federal Extreme Risk Protection Order Act, we are responding to our citizens across the country who've been urging the enactment of gun violence prevention legislation, but particularly families who cry out, "Help me, help my loved one." In recent years, we've mourned the loss of life resulting from so many mass shootings that have shocked our nation. But we must recognize and acknowledge that gun violence is a daily problem that extends far beyond these terrible mass casualty murders. Every day, 316 people on average are shot in the United States, and over 38,000 people die each year from gun violence in this country. And every year, nearly 8,000 children and teens are shot in the United States. School shootings have become a pandemic and an epidemic. Each shooting is a tragedy with devastating impacts on individuals, families, and communities, and the problem of gun violence does impact all of our communities, urban, suburban, and rural. We must do all we can to prevent each of these tragedies, and there is more we can do. Expanding the availability of extreme risk protection orders is one important step we must take. General Garland willingly acknowledged the importance of these laws. He is the Attorney General for all of the United States, and they have shown that as the Department of Justice has worked for all rights of all Americans. 19 states and the District of Columbia have passed extreme risk protection laws, which have proven to be effective. In California, one study found that extreme risk protection orders were issued under that state's law in 21 instances where there were concern of a mass casualty event. After Connecticut enacted an extreme risk protection order law, the state experienced 14% reduction in its firearm suicide rate. That is crucial. People killing themselves, families needing help. In Indiana, the number of suicides declined 7.5% in 10 years after it enacted its extreme risk protection order. While some states have enacted these laws, many have not. But all of our citizens deserve to be safe from gun violence no matter their state of residence. That is what the responsibility of the federal government is, and that is what, under Chairman Nadler, the responsibility of the Judiciary Committee is, to bring justice to all. And that is why we need a national law, which is what H.R. 2377 will provide. When family or household members or law enforcement officers can demonstrate evidence that an individual presents a serious threat to themselves or others by use of a firearm, they should have the opportunity to seek an extreme risk protection order before our federal courts, allowing a judge, this is not snatching away your constitutional rights, rights of privacy and beyond, due process, however you would analyze it, allowing a judge to weigh the evidence and issue an order when appropriate. I was here for the tragedy of Connecticut. And so I commend Representative Lucy McBath for her work on this bill and on the other issues related to gun violence. I ask my colleagues to support this important legislation and to make us safer from firearm violence whether it's in our homes or on our streets. It is our duty to do so. For all of those who believe in law enforcement, who recognize the most recent important day in our law enforcement community, honoring those who fell in duty, in the line of duty. If you care about those individuals, you will support this legislation. If you care about 26 children murdered and slaughtered in Connecticut in an elementary school, where the individual who in fact came and not only killed them, but killed himself, you would understand the basis of these and this law. You would understand that it is now imperative that we pass the Federal Extreme Risk Protection Order Act, and I'm very proud to support it at this time. With that, Mr. Chairman, I yield back.